will switch over to the playing stream. My sound is working. All right. So this is session 4 of Masks of Nyarlathotep, whose name I will probably pronounce properly by the time it is all said and done. The investigators previously, 4 years prior to this, went on an adventure in Lima, Peru. Encountered some strange vampiric creatures, references to something called the Father of Maggots, and were successful in containing a great evil underneath a pyramid in the Peruvian highlands. Since that time, you guys have gone your separate ways. Some of you have kept in touch, either in person periodically or via letters or telegrams. Some of you dropped off the grid for a bit, went to find yourself. To kind of account for the 4 years of time, everybody is a little bit more experienced now. And the random rolls worked out really well on the skills. Everybody got roughly the same amount of XP, which worked out really nice. And 4 years of peace and quiet have helped to stabilize you, resulting in some sanity gains for people. But in January of 1925, in New York, you have all received a telegram from your friend Jackson Elias. Jackson is a well-known writer, travels the world, specializing in books on cults. He's written both like kind of popular nonfiction, kind of very similar to like the Chariots of the Gods books, nonfiction, but we all know. He's published, at this point, I think he's published like 5 or 6 books, including 8 books, actually. His latest book from 1923 was about your adventures in Peru and a Peruvian and Bolivian death cult. He left out all of the weirder details and did not mention any of you by name. But he has contacted you. He has information concerning the Carlisle expedition. He needs reliable investigators and asks you to meet him January 15th in New York. All of the information you guys could dig up about the Carlisle expedition from various newspaper clippings and the like, as well as what you know of Jackson Elias, is all under the journal tabs. You should see one called the Carlisle Expedition.
Yep.
Oh, there it is under. Okay.
If I remember correctly, the big one is that the Carlisle expedition was like super creepy and everyone died. And they blamed the locals and they said it was racially motivated, if I remember correctly. And then our contact, Jackson Elias, says, there's more to this story. I need people to help me figure it out.
Exactly. High-level overview. The names of all the members of the expedition and everything are hidden in those articles, so peruse them at your leisure. I think I posted them to the Discord as well. And I will endeavor to post any handouts and stuff that you find to the Discord, as well as to journal entries, so you can access them whenever you need to.
Yeah.
All that being said, a couple of disclaimers. One, Call of Cthulhu is a horror game. Bad things are going to happen to your characters. You can minimize that. Play smart. Call of Cthulhu can be prone to overthinking. So if we notice that we're starting to circle around to the same thing multiple times without making a decision, either that means you've got the information you need and you're scared to act on it, which is completely viable. Or you don't have enough information, which means you're missing something somewhere along the lines. If you get completely stuck, you can ask for an idea roll. What that is, whoever has the highest education will make the roll. All right,
Education?
I think it's either inter-education. I can't remember which. We'll look it up if it comes down to it. What the idea roll means is I will give you information to get you back on track, whether you pass or fail. If you fail, I will also make things more complicated for you. The difficulty of the roll is based off of how obvious the information is. If you guys are missing a crucial clue because I forgot to give it to you, then it's just a regular roll. If it's information that you have, then you need to roll under half of your stat. If it's information that you have and you've discussed multiple times, then you need to roll under a quarter of your skill. Again, failure still gets the information. It's just how bad the situation is going into the thing.
Gotcha.
That being said, well, I don't hide my rolls anyway, so you guys are aware of that. Remember that this is not D&D. Like if you're looking at like a 10 or 15 foot fall from a roof, that could potentially end your character. So
Yeah, we're not all going to make it in.
right. So, in terms of hand holding, I will not be doing a lot. I will walk people through rules as they come up. What rolls to make, how to make rolls, how to do all of that sort of stuff as they come up. But I'm not going to. I, as a keeper, am not going to go. You guys should really go check out that. But if you bring information to an NPC, the NPC may be able to direct you in a direction. Just a question of how much you trust NPCs.
Makes sense. All
right. So, to set the stage, it is January 1925 in New York. Since we're in the modern day, in 1925, a lot of traditional New York landmarks are not yet built. The Empire State Building isn't built. The George Washington Bridge isn't built. The two towers obviously aren't built because they were like 1970 something. So those
are the projects underway, or are they just like don't exist, like not at all?
I think the groundbreaking for I think the bridge might be starting. The Empire State Building I don't think was started until about 1928 or so.
Okay.
So some of those landmarks just don't exist. As previously mentioned, travel in the city is largely by taxi or horse-drawn cart, or if you're rich enough, you can like hire a car to drive you. January in 1925, New York saw a shit ton of snow. I think by the end of January, they'd gotten something like 27 inches of snow.
Oof.
So it is. I mean, we're Canadians. we know what winter is like.
That's tough without a snowplow, though.
It's very tough without a snowplow. So just bear in mind when you're doing things that there is a lot of snow everywhere. There is ice. Everybody is bundled up against the cold. The daytime temperatures are hovering right around like -2 to -5. Nighttime temperatures are dropping down to like -10, -12, all in Celsius.
I was gonna say.
You guys know that Elias, he doesn't have an actual address in the city, but he does favor the Hotel Chelsea.
Hold on. He said he wanted us to join him and didn't give us a place to meet up?
He did not put anything in the telegram, but you guys know that he favors the Chelsea.
Okay.
me see, what do I have? Just seeing what I have for scene pictures. This will do.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to having like motorized snowplows. I just
At least the sidewalks are mostly clear.
I
The
mean
sidewalks are
mostly
better
clear.
looking than some of ours now.
I don't know if those are mostly clear or they're just beaten down in black ice. You know, like
I was going to say,
Oh
where's
well,
the
yeah, that's
sidewalks
true.
here?
Very true.
there's the cars, there's a snowbank, and after that there's a sidewalk on the left.
In theory.
In theory, there you go.
Yeah. All right. The famous or infamous New York yellow taxi cabs do exist. They started in 1907.
Cool.
But the medallion system that denotes somebody as being regulated is not yet in place.
So any yellow cab is not necessarily a yellow cab.
Right. Other than that, I assume you guys have like checked into a hotel. You guys have kind of probably met up again. You guys can kind of fill each other in on what you've been up to, just very briefly over the last 4 years or the last time you spoke.
So my belief is still 1920s. It is totally a thing to go to a hotel and sit at the bar.
Absolutely.
It still
That's
is.
that's what Alvin will do, and he will sit there, ask for a bottle of something inexpensive, and pour himself drinks out of the bottle.
Volador has completely retired as a wrestler now, although he still wears a mask everywhere he goes. He's a movie star, producer, and director, and the first thing he put all three of that behind was a very fanciful adaptation of what happened in Peru, with him being a big star, of course. Complete with occult stuff, just not the occult stuff that we saw. Something more El Santo versus the vampire than what really happened. And he's gotten pretty wealthy and successful at it. Although, again, Spanish language silent movies, probably not a big thing in New York at this time.
What is we'll just go around. What is Evelyn up to?
Evelyn has been attending her society seances fairly regularly when she's not traveling around with her brother. And that's really about it. Other than that, she's been reading. She's been daringly getting behind the wheel of a vehicle, one of these motorized contraptions, and has managed not to kill anybody so far, which is good, given how few rights she has at the moment. Um, that's primarily like her life didn't change a whole lot other than she got a nice trip to Peru. Um, she's just as heavily into the occult now as she was back then. It didn't dissuade her at all. Um, she's probably maintained a bit of a pen palship with a couple of people, um, more than likely including Mr. Elias, and yeah, has been living her best limping along life.
Okay. What has Luther been up to?
Yeah, so Luther had a bout of insanity for a bit. So I imagine there's not really an airport. The airports don't quite exist yet, though the aviation industry has been apparently is booming in the 20s. So he's probably working on like as a mechanic for working on planes or whatnot. I imagine he lives probably in some kind of boiler room in some kind of industrial area with a board that has all these notes and strings and tacks and all that kind of strange meme stuff while he's trying to figure out the secret of the Bigfoot or the Loch Ness monster or all this other crazy stuff that is urban myth, whatever the urban myths were in the 20s. Likely has been talking to Jackson quite a bit, either by telegram or by phone. Luther is a native in New York, so if Jackson's ever around, they'd be talking. He'd be like, "Oh, did you hear about this Loch Ness monster thing? I got a bead. I got a hint. I got a lead for you." So yeah, he's trying to reconcile that insanity which he's recovered from by delving a little bit more into those myths.
Okay, perfect. All right. What has Salvatore been up to?
I figured Salvatore kind of went with all the craziness that he kind of went feral of sorts, and he basically disappeared and basically became a Greystoke / Tarzan for a while, living off the land, going a little nuts. Whether or not that involved learning any other like Cthulhu mythos or anything, I'm flexible on that. What I'm not sure if I go that path is why I'm suddenly going to be okay with coming back to civilization.
Did you stay in Peru while you were doing that, or did you come to the States to be, or you're in Mexico, right?
I figure at some point, I didn't leave with everybody else, so maybe I went and either I found a tribe to live with in South America that nobody ever found, or I just did something else and I just went, as I went basically Greystoke / Tarzan for its time. I kind of like that story idea.
Perfect. All right. And what has Dr. Carter been up to?
In the event of Peru, Dr. Carter has tried to make a research and try to put what we saw over there in historical context, make a paper out of it, in a more rational archaeological point of view of what could have brought this there. He could not reconcile science with everything he saw, but he tried to rationalize his paper to still be able to publish. He has spent the last few years still in Oxford, at his university in Great Britain.
Okay.
And he has been entertaining people who found his research, trying to stay on point, being on dig sites all over the world, and trying to keep up his research. Trying itself at fencing at school and similar activities.
A question for Dr. Carter: is he actually is he a tenured professor at Oxford or?
He is at a point where he is expected to put out research, and he's offering class direction to some professors, but his main business at school is putting out research to get funding.
Perfect. So he's officially tied to the university.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. And what has Alvin been up to?
So Alvin did more of the same. Like he came back from Peru, having seen what he did, and he kind of tried to act like it didn't happen. Like everything was hunky dory, as much as is a hunky dory in the PI business. But he tried to maybe not specialize, but he took many more missing persons cases. And even though he wasn't obviously looking for something supernatural. He was looking to corroborate anything that would have been the same. You know, he was like, that was a one-off. It's a thing. But every time a missing persons case came around, he was like, is it really a one-off? Is this another case of like zombification or people like that are like taking other people's faces or stuff like that? So he was, but never admitting it to himself. So he tried to keep up appearances and tried to pretend like everything was fine, but in the back of his head, it's still there. And every time there is that kind of like, what happened to this person or why is this person missing? He's instinctively, that's where his brain goes. Otherwise, he's been fairly unsuccessful as a PI, or I guess middling as a PI. I didn't invest any more in funding or anything like that, so he didn't make a name for himself. He's just that guy who finds people sometimes.
Perfect.
Oh, he's also based in Chicago, so it is a little bit of a trek to get to New York.
Okay, so he was Chicago PD before he got ousted, right?
That's right.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, Luther, you would know that over the last probably 2 years, give or take, Elias has been gone more and more frequently, traveling the world. Very hush hush. He was the sort, he would always keep things close to his chest until he had something. Like, he didn't go running to his publisher with every like little rumor or whatever. He waited until he had like all of his ducks lined up.
Right.
So it's not uncommon for him to disappear for lengths of time. So you probably haven't seen him or spoken to him. You haven't seen him in probably 2 years. You haven't spoken to him in probably 6 or 7 months.
But that's normal for him.
But that's normal for him. Just for ease of getting everybody together, we'll just say that, you guys kind of spot one another, probably, traveling on the same train or whatever, and check into the same hotel. Just, it's the easiest way to get the party together. Otherwise, we're going to spend 2 hours of like, well, I'm at this hotel and I'm at that hotel. And it'll become a comedy of errors as opposed to a Call of Cthulhu game. So once you've arrived and set in, there is a...
Sorry, Chris, can I offer a mild suggestion?
Sure.
When we all introduced ourselves the first time around, we all met at a hotel bar.
Yep.
Can we just relive that and say that, like, hey, like, it's funny because we're all walking into a bar again, running into each other on another crazy expedition?
Absolutely. I like the symmetry of that.
Yeah, it's like, again? And it's foreboding as well because of everything that happened last time.
Perfect.
You guys ever go anywhere else?
Well, please sit down, Doctor Miss Collins. Have a drink. This one's on me.
Places you people bring me to. It's downright scandalous.
Well, I'm not going to stop a lady from having a drink.
I appreciate that. If I meet her later, I'll let her know.
I like her. I'll buy a bottle of mezcal. Enough glasses for everybody, whether they want to partake or not. It's up to them.
I mean, that definitely looks a little bit fancier than this bottle of $2 scotch, so I'm
You
in.
can tell it's fancy by the worm in the bottom.
Oh, that's...
That seems like the opposite of fancy.
Yeah. And there is a very brief moment where that worm at the bottom of the bottle looks an awful lot like that larva that you pull out of Professor Sanchez.
Of course it does.
Machismo forces me to drink this brand.
Yeah. On second thought, I'll drink with you, but I'll have my scotch. And anyone can feel free to have some of it. I tilt the bottle over in case anyone wants some.
Scotch will do.
And I'm assuming you're all here today because you all, and Alvin pulls out a telegram, got one of these, puts it on the table.
Well, it's been an awful long time since I've seen all of you, so sounds like a good way to get back together. Let's hope it's a bit more merry this time.
I have many doubts.
Oh, I do, but I like to think in an hopeful manner. Be a good sport.
Well, good luck with that. I think he's going to get us all killed again, or attempt to get us all killed again.
He didn't get us killed last time.
Are you sure?
I'm reasonably certain.
There was a reasonable amount of death involved. That would not be a stretch to say that ours very, very much could have been on that list.
I did speak to more people than just Evelyn in the past 5 years, so I assume I'm still alive.
Now, I don't know why you all decided to come, but I've got some bills to pay. And if he is going to publish another fairly well, good selling novel, I'm here to touch a little bit of that scratch.
It seems to get us all involved in things that tends to end up being quite out of the ordinary. So I came for curiosity mostly. But if you do want a cut of his book, I will not stop you. As long as my name is not put in directly, that part of the deal is not on me.
I've been pulling Jackson's butt out of buyers for far too long. So he's got another fire, and he still has his butt. So that's why I'm here.
And at that time, the maitre d or the concierge at the hotel comes over. It says, "Mr. Pratt, telephone."
Okay. Apparently, in the 1920s, you have to walk over to a telephone. You can't carry one with you.
Yeah, exactly.
So why exactly do we care about this Carlisle expedition in the first place?
Because there's society?
Well, Carlisle was rich. And if we can figure out what happened for real, then we might be able to pay some bills.
Right, but I mean, there are lots of rich people in the world. Sometimes they do what they do. I'm fairly well off. I went off and did what I did for a few years. I didn't see newspaper articles saying, where did Salvatore, the famous boxer, disappear to? Although maybe that did happen and Mark doesn't realize that.
I was about to point that out.
I was not right in the head after Peru, so I disappeared, shall we say.
I'm on the phone here.
You literally had to leave the room to answer that phone.
Yeah.
I know. I had to do it. Sorry.
So you pick up the phone. It's like, Luther?
Yeah.
Okay. Meet me, room 410, 8 o'clock. I should be home by then.
Time is it now?
Right now it's like 6:15.
Where are you now?
I'm out. I can't talk. I gotta go.
Where are you? Listen, I can't help you if I don't know where you're at.
And you can give me a psychology skill roll.
Oh, really? Yeah, this would be good. I don't even know if I have that skill. Psychology, where are you? So many games. Solid 10% chance.
Okay. All right. Jackson, he sounds nervous. You're not used to him sounding nervous. And he hangs up, like he doesn't stay around to chat.
What was the room number?
410.
Yeah, so guys, Jackson's gonna be a little late.
Oh,
But we get to drink till about 8 o'clock. So
He called you?
yeah, I've known him forever. Who else should he call?
And what's his excuse?
That he'd be here by 8?
That's
Oh,
not
so-
an excuse. What's his excuse for being late?
I mean, in his defense, he never told us when he would show up. He just said today.
There's 2 perfectly good bottles that we could drink from now to 8 o'clock.
well, there's one perfectly good bottle and one with something in the bottle of it, in the bottom of it. I think I might have had enough already.
Yeah. Also, that said, if he's going to come at 8, we can have dinner and charge
we
it
could
to
have
his room.
dinner.
We could charge it to his room.
You're
Speaking of rooms, I have another idea. We
Well, I
could
was planning on having dinner.
Should I hear this?
go break into his room and see what he's been up to before he shows up.
Oh, that's not at all what I thought you were going to suggest.
Let's
Breaking
call it.
into any-
I mean, he would break into our room. So
Yeah, probably, but I have standards, and I will not break into our guest's room.
No, but we can charge dinner there. So, what was his room number again?
I'm fine with
Also-
charging dinner to his room.
who's with me to break into the room?
I'm with you. I can
All right, big
clearly
guy.
tell you're concerned about his safety.
Oh,
I
quite.
think it would be unjust, unmanly of us not to break into his room and make sure he's all right.
We'll go with that.
The
Well,
fact
I-
that you're even using the term break into his room says that you're full of shit.
Using
Well, I'll
unmanly.
have-
Artistic license.
Oh.
Here, doesn't it?
Volador,
Well,
your English got much better. I agree with you.
Well, I will have heard none of this, and I will have the steak and a salad.
Yes. I'm also going to have a steak, a baked potato, and some vegetables, and the finest red wine.
I'm not
I-
sure they serve that here.
I'll walk around with the big guy. Just we may or may not break into somebody's room.
Probably not. We'll be invited in.
You're making us sound so exciting.
Well, come along, Miss Collins.
But this is apparently a manly endeavor. Well, I could be lookout. I could be lookout.
You could
I can be
looking.
lookout from this table.
Just
That would
to
be lovely if we could hear you shout from down here.
just to be clear, Jackson is not staying at the hotel where the bar is. He is at the Chelsea. The Chelsea does not have a bar.
I was
mean
going to
a
say,
restaurant?
did we not go there?
They certainly added one years later.
They did.
Going
So
on
wait,
the
we're
spot,
not-
Aaron and Janice
We're
Johnson.
not meeting at the Chelsea. We're meeting somewhere else.
You guys are meeting Elias at the Chelsea. You guys are not at the Chelsea currently.
Well, let's go to the Chelsea.
Yeah, let's go to the Chelsea and have
They
dinner
don't have a
there
bar.
on him.
Absolutely.
Do not
He
have-
invited
they
us.
do- From what I heard, they do not have a restaurant over there.
They do not have a restaurant there.
Probably one close.
There are restaurants close by, yes.
Do they have a bar at the hotel?
No, it is prohibition.
For fuck's sake, stupid North America.
I mean, there's speakeasies all over the place. But there's no actual bar at the Chelsea.
We can have that famous potato they have.
Yeah.
Or is it the egg? It's a potato, right? The rubber potato that they use as an excuse to be able to serve a meal and with a drink.
Could be. And it's one of those things like, I mean, some restaurants, they just, they pay the right people to, operate. The Chelsea doesn't.
I heard about this in Chicago. And they were doing this in New York.
Serving fake food.
Hmm. Well, it's because in New York they said that. So the idea was that they wanted to stop bars to get people getting drunk, but
Right.
if you could afford going to a salon, I think it was the term, where they served food, then you could have a beverage. So everyone turned into a salon and started selling the same rubberized potato as food.
Yes, some of them have private members only. It's just you. Membership is open to everybody, and coincidentally, it costs the same as 2 drinks,
There's
which are
a
complimentary.
there's a
I got
project.
about 4 dozen memberships in the city.
Yeah.
Well, the 2 drinks are complimentary with the membership.
Well, it's the same nowadays, right? Like a lot of places, like Fredericton doesn't, like any bar in Fredericton serves food as well. Because that's
Not
what
You know
they,
what?
necessarily true.
yeah. Um,
Memory serves, it wasn't a potato, it was a sandwich. It's a rubber sandwich.
yeah. Um,
Ew.
but that's why a lot of bars have peanuts or pretzels. Because then it's technically food.
To be able to serve food. Yeah.
Yep. A lot of the places, the tap rooms and stuff in Fredericton, they have agreements with the food trucks.
That's right.
So
The
that way,
2020 has a vending machine with chips and chocolate
Yeah.
bars in it.
yeah.
Empty.
So there's
The very exclusive 2020
Yeah.
for the people on the internet.
so yes. So a lot of places get around the prohibition. The Chelsea does not. You
Okay,
think-
let's go eat
Yeah.
next to the Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can find a nice burger place because I'm starving. It's been a long train ride.
We'll find a lovely place to eat next to the hotel, and then not at all engage in some breaking and entering.
For sure.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I'll make sure you don't get caught.
Thank you.
I might
Terrible
later on.
when people scream.
Considering some of our friends have a queuing to do, suggest that I invite Mr. Stark and Mr. Saputo to a drink and a lunch nearby.
All right. The Hotel Chelsea. It's located in Manhattan, West 23rd Street. It is a 12-story brick edifice. Originally built as an apartment building, but reopened as a hotel in 1905. A lot of the guests are long-term residents, which is why it doesn't have a restaurant and a bar. One of the other reasons why they don't want to draw attention is because they are one of the few hotels that actually allows people of mixed race together. So they do not want to cause any ripples.
I like this place more and more already.
That's why our friend's staying here, right?
Exactly.
Really exists.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's narrow but tall. It's 12 stories.
Yeah. Much larger than anything we have at home.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you guys can find a little diner, like just like a couple things down, probably on the map, probably like kind of down in this area. So like a couple of storefronts away from the hotel entrance.
Right. So his room is room 410.
Yep.
And the big guy and I, we're going to go see if we can hear somebody in distress or something.
Okay.
I hear New York makes a great hamburger, and that's where I'm going.
Okay.
And a milkshake. Hamburger and a milkshake.
I'm going to find a place to eat with Mr. Sharp and possibly Mr. Caputo.
Okay.
That is nearby.
I'm sure we'll
I
get back
don't-
soon.
I don't know New York, so I'll trust you.
Alrighty.
Miss Collins, you care to join me? Offers an
Absolutely.
arm.
Oh, look at you, all gentlemanly. She takes his arm, cane in her other hand. I will try not to seem too scandalous as we ascend in a hotel.
Please do. I'm a captain. I have a reputation to
Disappointing.
protect.
I'm sure you certainly do have a reputation. It's even worse that I'm going up with two of you.
I
Or are you
know.
going ahead? It's. See, I wouldn't dare do this at home. Everyone would notice.
Oh, everyone notices. But they're not going to say
Wearing a
anything because
mask.
there's a giant guy with a mask, and I'm wearing my my captain's jacket. So
That's fair.
I'm giant by Mexican standards. I'm about 5'10".
5'10", 260.
Yeah, about that. I put on about 20 pounds since I stopped wrestling.
8 inches taller than I am.
Okay. So the inside of the Chelsea, it's very well appointed. It has like kind of a large kind of sweeping staircase. That sort of picture kind of like lower middle class opulence.
I fit right into that demographic.
There you go. There is no elevator. So you guys just going up the stairs? You stopping at the desk?
I'm going to stop at the desk and try to rent a room.
Give me a credit rating roll.
I'll do the same.
Oh shit! No, I'm broke.
Yeah, you look like you've been working on planes all day. You probably smell of oil, grease stains.
Hey, big guy, we need a room.
All right.
That sounds so much worse.
So basically, I'm going to treat this like a pushed roll. So the consequence of Trevor failing this will be that you guys are essentially barred entrance.
My credit rating's 50.
Right now, the hotel clerk is like, I'm sorry, I don't think we have anything available.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have enough luck points to fix that roll.
So I'm afraid you'll have to leave.
All right.
And I mean, they don't have security or anything, but the bellhops kind of like motion for you to get moving.
All right. I know a doctor, like university doctor.
Well, I'm sure you do, sir.
And I'm a veteran. Unacceptable.
If they don't care
Democracy,
about the, if they don't
democracy
care about
still
the movie
lives.
star, they're not going to care about the veteran.
Democracy still exists in this goddamn city because of the things that I went through, and you're throwing me in. Fine.
Perhaps you could try the mission. They might have something.
Got to talk to the papers is what I'm going to do.
Oh, I laugh at that one.
I'm sure the nearest newsie will be happy to hear you.
Mr. Collins, please come with me.
Oh, you don't think I should walk through a hotel on my own?
No, not a bit.
Very well.
I'm thinking we'll go get fancy people too.
I should not have had that drink before we left.
Maybe not. We'll get another one when we get there.
That sounds lovely, as long as they don't try to feed me one of those strange sandwiches.
Just make sure you don't trip with your cane.
I'll try not to trip you.
That's what I meant. So we'll head back to the party.
Okay. They're easy enough to find. Alvin's got his surprisingly good burger, like, cooked on a good old flat top. Milkshake made with real ice cream, real milk. like 2,000 calories just in the burger and milkshake, but
Real milk. My God.
none of this soy stuff has hit the market yet.
None of the milk products.
Nope. So yeah, so Luther and Evelyn and Volador have been gone for probably like 10-15 minutes. They come back.
We kept some chairs for you.
They kicked me out.
Did you find what you were looking for?
No, they kicked me out.
On the upside, the hamburgers and the milkshake, $3.50.
The nerve of them.
$3.
Well, I'm sure they have a veterans discount.
Dr. Carter, you seem to be a man of influence and taste, and well, apparently you dress well.
Well, I do my best. May I be of assistance?
Absolutely. I need a room on the fourth floor of that hotel right over there. And I need you to tell that ignorant son of a bitch that's at the desk that I'm allowed to go into that room.
Years.
They hate veterans, apparently.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
Would you allow me a few minutes to finish this milkshake? Oh well.
Sure.
I'll be back. I'll leave that here. I'll be back.
We got like 2 hours, so.
Yeah.
And if you're really rich, just get like 3 or 4 rooms so we could justify all of us going up there. Not to break into any place, but because that would be illegal. But
I'll see about getting a room or two. But I mean, I would not want to incur any frivolous expense, but this seems reasonable. Something they have pushed the roll to try to get a room. Would going back there be possible at all?
As long as they are nowhere near you.
Okay.
If they're not anywhere near you, I'll treat it as a separate roll. And
Okay.
just to put things into context, the $350 probably paid for Alvin's meal and Dr. Carter's meal and a super healthy tip.
I didn't know how much money it would have cost. So
yeah, I was thinking $3.50 for a burger. Are you out of your fucking mind?
No, it was $350 for the table.
Yeah.
That's a month's wages.
Yeah. Normally like a decent dinner out is like $1.75.
There you go. Okay, I'll retroactively bring that figure down. I'll say our meal cost $3.50 for the 3 of us, right? So
I'll finish my drink and I'll go over there and try to rent like 2 rooms in the hotel. That would be
Credit rating roll.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Right. So the clerk looks and says, we have 2 rooms available on the 4th floor, but they're not adjoining. Is that okay?
Oh, it's fine. I just want to make sure that my guests can be close, but they don't need to be in the next room over.
Oh, excellent. We can definitely accommodate you there.
Thank you very much. Just, I need to have a talk in private with some of my friends. So this question is appreciated.
Understood. So that's going to it's going to cost run you $9, which I believe is well under your daily spending limit.
I'll give him a little tip for his discretion.
Perfect. All right. And that'll kind of bring up a slight little rules thing. When you're purchasing things on your character under, I think it's under gear and cash tab, it'll tell you have a daily spending limit. As long as your total purchases are less than that, you don't have to worry about nickel and diming it. So, like, I think Alvin has a daily spending limit of $10, so $3.50 for a meal doesn't put a dent into any of your expenses. All right. So yes, you get 2 rooms. They get you to sign for them. You do have to pay up front, but they give you keys to rooms 401 and 404.
Perfect. My guess is just show you the key and get access to the room.
Excellent. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm gonna go step on the roof and go up again.
Okay. So I didn't hear that. Are you going up to the rooms or are you going back to the restaurant?
I'm going up to check on the room and then I'm going back to it.
Okay.
Just making sure everything is in order and looking like a real customer.
Okay. Yeah, everything seems to be in order. You check out the rooms. They're nicely furnished. They look like they're more. They are geared for longer term stay. So there's the bed. There's like a little sofa, a writing desk, that sort of thing.
Cool. If you end up staying in New York, so that could be a nice place to put down. So I check on the room and things in order. So I go back down. I nod at the guy at the desk and go back to the restaurant.
Okay.
Luca, I got us 2 rooms. Here's the case, but that they should let you in without problems.
Well, there. We just need somebody looking a little bit sophisticated. So, whatever.
Well, we tend to give a bit of leeway to people dressed and acting like I do.
What's wrong with the way I dress?
Nothing, but some clerks can have prejudice. Some life situation put you with less education and less knowledge about the people and their work. And I, for one, have seen you in all of your glory fighting the good fight.
Reminds me of the time that I ran into the Red Baron. What a day.
You also been into the ground?
Yeah, well, I made it out all right, but man, that guy's good. So fat. Anyway.
Yeah, and I've heard some of our more military inclined Dan talking about his exploits. He seems to have made quite a mark on the war.
So here's what I'm thinking. I think we try to find a way into Jackson's room, just to see if he's all right. Like he seemed a little nervous on the phone, So I think he's in some kind of trouble. So we got to find a clue to figure out where he is, so he doesn't get himself dead before we can figure out what he wants us to be here for. If that makes any sense at all. Now the only way I know how to get through into that room is to kick the door down. So if anyone's better at getting into a room, convincing to get a key or lockpicking something or what, that would be great to know now. Otherwise, big guy here is going to kick the door down.
If you get caught kicking the door down, I will plead with the hotel that you stole my key.
Sure. I just got to make sure Jackson's all right.
I'm just wanting us not to be all barred from this hotel so we can actually meet him if he does get it in time.
Do we have his room number?
Yeah, it's room 410.
No.
When you're knocking down or breaking open a door, is that a size or a strength roll?
Strength.
It's probably the boxer's the strongest one then.
Just for my edification, I know my character's not there. You guys are breaking into the room of the guy who invited us here,
We're not.
Love.
who is going to show up in an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you are here. We're all at the restaurant, I think.
Yep.
Oh, we're at the restaurant. Okay, I thought.
The restaurant with the key. And I told them that I would not get involved more than I already have.
Oh, okay. So
And I have absolutely no talent to unlock that door in any state of mind. But I will do what I need to preserve our reputation so that I can still accept the room to be there for the meeting with our friends. Should they get caught?
Chris, I look at both keys. I put them next to each other. Are they? Hotels have a lot of locks. Does it look like it's the same key or very similar key for all the rooms, just by comparing these two? Or are they really did they really go to the length of making different keys for every single room?
Give me a locksmith roll.
Locksmith roll. Locksmith roll. Simple success.
Hey, we made a roll.
So looking at them to your trained eye, they're different, but they're similar. You would guess they probably came from the same company, just kind of like mass produced locks for the doors. It doesn't look like it would be terribly difficult to pick.
And this, I'm turned to the team, to the group. It says, "Well, it looks like there's a master key that would open all the doors."
Or misadventure in the room. I did take a few classes to know how to detonate some dynamite if we need to. I did not think about taking some classes in lock picking. I did overstood on that one.
Well, in my line of work, it's helpful to know your way around a lock.
I'm not sure they.
You have a bit of proficiency in that.
Chris,
Out of
did
character.
Elias ask to meet on a specific night, just not a time?
Correct. He said, meet me on the 15th, which is today. And then he called Luther and said, meet me at 8. I should be home by then.
And what time is it now?
By now, it's probably about 6:45.
I'm sorry, but this is almost an hour before our scheduled time. Why are you even talking about breaking and entering into somebody else's private room?
I've been saying this the entire night, Philodor. We should just sit, have a meal. 8 o'clock, we go knock on his door. That's it.
Jackson would break into my room. Me breaking into Jackson's room, he'd be fine with it. He'd understand.
So
And do you and Jackson have a history of breaking into each other's rooms that you know this for certain?
We've got a history of a lot of things.
That does not answer my question.
That's the answer you're given.
Then
Why
I'm going to
would-
assume that the answer is no, and you just want to commit to breaking and entering.
We're all
That's,
sitting around.
if that's the way you want to see it, then that's entirely up to you. My friend, I think, is in trouble. And I think maybe something in his room might tell us why.
So it is an hour and 15 minutes before our scheduled meeting time, and you have a hunch that he is in trouble.
Yeah.
Based on what? He tends to be 90 minutes early for all his meetings?
Based on the conversation I had with him on the phone, he seemed nervous. He never gets nervous.
Hey, you didn't tell us beforehand. You just said you wanted to break into his room.
That does seem odd. Not the bit about breaking into his room, although, but the bit about him being nervous. He's never struck me as the nervous.
What does it matter?
Because it matters if someone is saying, hey, I need to lay low. I'll meet you in an hour. I'm scared for my life. Versus, oh yeah, I'll just meet you in an hour. I have to have dinner. I'm running late because of traffic and snow. These are very different situations here.
Traffic.
It is New York City. And there's a lot of
Oh,
snow.
there is a lot of snow.
Luther, you gotta tell us what, like, you gotta give us context of things that you do.
Thought it did. All right. So
He sticks his nose in places that don't belong all the time.
we've
not
gone through
nervous.
some stuff, right? We've gone through some stuff. We have. We've seen some things that,
I don't want to talk about it.
yeah, neither do I. Now, Jackson and I have been dealing with stuff, maybe not that stuff, but stuff for a very long time. Right? I've known him longer than the rest of you have. I think this is the right play. Now, if you guys want to sit here for an hour while he's bleeding out in a fucking alley somewhere, that's entirely up to you.
And
I'm
you're
going in
hoping to
that
find out. You're trying to find out where he is right now, so we could go over there and give him a hand.
Yes.
Yeah, that almost makes sense, Luther.
I'm going regardless. So you can help me or you can get out of the way. Either way. This guy's my friend. We've been through some shit. I'm going to help him.
Okay, so
Period.
if he's staying at this hotel, let's first things first. If he's staying at this hotel and he went elsewhere, he probably asked for convenience from there to here, or from there from the hotel to wherever he was going. Probably went through the front desk or the bellboy. Let's start asking questions there. Hey, did you see this dude who, our friend, who we have a description of and who's been staying at this hotel? Did he order a cab? How long ago? Do you know where it was going? And then we can see what's going on. So if he said, hey, I'm going to the library, it's not going to be a big deal, and he left an hour ago and he's coming back in an hour, I don't see a problem. Let's start there. Push comes to shove, it might tell us exactly where he's going, or where he's been, or where he is.
Sounds like you're willing to help.
I'm trying to say we're trying to find out where someone is before breaking into their room. Now, missing persons is what I do. The first thing you do is you ask questions. First thing you do is not commit felonies.
Misdemeanor. I wasn't going to steal anything.
Yeah, you tell that to a judge.
So not technically missing yet. Is he Mr. Private Investigator?
Absolutely not. But we can at least ask questions. It doesn't hurt right now. And if we can buy an hour worth of asking questions before he's late, then Luther's happy, we're happy, and then we can take a look at what the next step is.
Fine. Give you 20 minutes. I'm kicking down the door.
If they let you into the place, I thought they threw you out.
I got a gun.
Now we're talking felony.
Is that gun registered?
Yes,
Luther-
it's registered. It's my
Luther,
military
it-
sidearm.
Luther,
US
this might be a large city, but I guarantee you, if you start flashing some iron around, you're gonna wake up in a cell.
Alvin, this is my city. I know how to walk around it. You do you. If it doesn't work, I'll do me. How's about that? That's a compromise. Right? That's a compromise.
Let me ask a few questions.
All right. 20 minutes.
I put the napkin, clean up my napkin. Make sure that my milkshake is still waiting for me when I get back.
Yeah, can I have the rest of that burger? Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, you can have the burger. It's fine. Sit down, have a meal. I look around the table. Who am I looking at to take with me? Does anyone look eager to go ask questions?
Luther does, but I don't think you're taking him.
No, right?
Father has stated that he will deny any involvement in all of this to make sure that we keep access to the hotel to meet with him.
I think
Someone
you
has
said.
bailed.
I think you said you don't want to because you want to be able to get back into the hotel. Is that what you said?
Do you hear me better now?
Yep.
I said that Dr. Parker stated that he would deny any involvement in all of this so we can retain access to the hotel to meet with him when the time comes. So he's not planning to follow up.
Good old plausible deniability.
Exactly.
Someone needs bail money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if bad come to worse, I can pretend that my key was stolen by someone.
Okay. So I'm gonna, if no one looks like they want to follow me, Mark, I'm just gonna go in. I don't want to take time away from the group to do a side thing. I'm just gonna ask the bellhops and they want people in the front asking, hey, um, how did I forget our friend's name? What was his name again?
Jackson?
Jackson
Jackson.
Elias.
I asked, oh, do you know Jackson, the writer? He's been staying here for a while. He told me to meet him. It's been a while. Do you know if he, if he's still at the hotel, if he asked for a lift? Maybe I'm supposed to meet him somewhere else. I asked for information to sing. Has anyone seen him recently? And has anyone hired a car or a horse, I guess, to take him anywhere?
Give me a persuade roll.
And a persuade roll. Not what I was expecting, but okay.
Yeah.
I am not good at persuading people.
Yeah. You're going to get some information. It's just a question of how much. And again, a
Yeah.
large part for me asking for die rolls is because that's how you improve your skills.
Fair. I was hoping to fast talk them.
Fast talk is much more of like a flim flam, like, hey, I'm just headed up to my buddy Jackson's room.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
happen
Okay,
to have-
fair.
that's fast talk.
Okay.
All right. So you do some asking around. Some people know of him. He kind of keeps odd hours, and he generally uses the rear entrance as opposed to the front lobby, just so he doesn't, interrupt other people. He's kind that way.
Because he's black.
That too. But he does. You do find out that there is a rear entrance to the hotel, and that seems to be what he's been using. So they can't tell you for sure if he's in or not.
Thanks. Does anyone remember seeing him today? Just as a
Yeah, earlier today.
Oh.
They saw him like around lunchtime, sort of thing.
Perfect. Thanks. So I bring that back. So he was in around lunchtime. A few people saw him. Problem is, he tends to use the back entrance, the servants' entrance, to get in and out without being too noticed. So they can't, other than seeing him for lunch, they're not exactly sure when he came or left. And because he uses the service entrance, no one's flagged any kind of conveyance for him. But less than 24 hours. And he seemed to have all his wits about him at the time.
Efficient. 15 minutes.
And if you wait another 30, we can knock on the door. Or if you're eager, you can wait at the back entrance, see if he comes in. I told you I was going to be there by 4, means I'm actually going to be there a little bit before 4 and I have to walk in.
So we're gonna wait for this guy. That's what we're gonna do.
I think we should. I mean, 30 minutes isn't much.
Is if you're in an alley.
He was able enough to pick up the phone and call you. If he was
Yeah, but he
nervous,
was panicked. He wasn't even panicked in Peru.
look, we have no leads until we break through that door. And if we break through that door and he shows up 5 minutes later,
We have a
I
big
mean, you
laugh.
might be good. Yes, but someone's gonna need to pay for that door. And remember, not everywhere allows men of his stature to stay at their establishments. And if there's destruction of property, I don't know that kind of noise around him if it can be prevented. Guy's got a hard life. Don't have to make it harder if we don't have to.
All right, we'll wait. But if he gets himself dead, I'm holding you responsible.
Well, that's not a fair thing to say.
Doesn't have to be fair. It's true.
Chris?
Yep.
I order another. My milkshake has melted. I order another one.
Okay.
And we let a half hour go by.
Okay.
I'm ordering another bottle of wine.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So time ticks by. He seems to crawl along very slowly. You know, time always goes slowly when you're waiting for something.
Luther's drinking water.
Okay.
How do you drink that stuff straight?
I don't know if we are too early for that, but I want to try something typical New York. I'm a tourist right now, so maybe cheesecake or something like that.
Sure. New York style cheesecake. All right. So time passes. 7:30 rolls around.
Luther's tapping like a finger on the desk, just looking nervous, right? His foot's got a twitch in.
Okay. We go knock at the appointed time. We pay our bill and we go up to room 410.
Okay. Perfect. So at room 410, everybody can give me a spot hidden roll.
You don't want to.
That's the bad roll. Yes.
Remember how last week I couldn't miss? Now I can't hit.
I missed it by 2.
I have
You could use
gotten.
luck.
I could use luck, and I think I'm going to if no one else. Oh,
I got it.
Mel spotted something.
I got a 2-star.
And Lucy
Again,
did.
missing
Okay.
persons, man. This is Alvin's thing. Block picking and spotting stuff.
Fair.
All right. So
Apparently, I'm terrible at spot hidden.
so you guys get up to room 410. I assume Luther's probably knocking.
I would expect.
So as you're about to knock on the door, both you and Alvin feel a cold draft from under the door to the room.
Window open?
That's not right.
Chris, is the door locked?
You try the door; it is locked.
Do you want to open it? Do you want me to get the big guy to open it?
We'll just knock first.
I suppose.
Okay. So you knock on the door, and everybody can give me a listen roll.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I want to hear if like someone's trying to scramble out of there.
Yeah.
Not that I'm good at listening. Not that any of us. Evelyn. All right.
Miss Collins.
Listening. I
Check
listen
you
to
out with your
spirits all the
30%.
time.
Check you out with your 30%.
Hmm.
Right. So Luther knocks. And everybody can wait. Evelyn, you definitely hear something inside move and then stop. Like the movement is like slightly before the knocking, and then when Luther knocks, the movement just stops.
Yo, Jackson, you in there?
Shh. She'll gesture down the hallway and kind of tap her way down the hall, being a little louder than she had been coming upstairs. She'll beckon everyone.
Kind of follow, probably a hand on his sidearm. Miss Collins?
We'll follow Evelyn move and walk with her to give the impression inside that you have all left, walking a bit loudly,
Okay.
so that the people can either break in or break down.
I'm gonna kind of flatten myself against the wall by the door so they can't see me through a peephole and be absolutely silent.
Alvin finally catches on. He says, "Oh, I guess he's not here. Let's go back and finish our burgers." Very loudly, and starts going down the hall.
Just like him.
Okay.
Chris, since that play has been done, how difficult would it be for Alvin to sneak back to the door and lockpick the door quietly?
That is what we call a combined roll. So you make one roll.
Evelyn hasn't said anything yet.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Sorry. My apologies. When I'm following Evelyn. I jumped the gun on that.
I take it that none of you heard that.
Why are we down the hall?
Well, because something's in that room.
Someone.
And it was moving. Certainly someone. Could be a dog. Something was moving inside that room until you were knocked on the door. And then it stopped, which is why a dog or some kind of animal was the first thing that came to mind. It's like sneaking up on a mouse.
They would not have stopped if they belonged there.
Or if it's an animal, then it would have frozen. If
I
it's
don't know. I tend to have dogs bark on me when I knock on doors.
well, I mean that could be too.
Should I go shoot the dog?
No, you should not go shoot anything. We don't know if it could be him in there and he froze because he was afraid.
It could be Bigfoot.
Or because he lost what?
Luther
How
announced
many drinks did you have?
Bigfoot.
It's
He announced
not
himself.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Like Luther announced himself. He knocked and he said, "Are you out here? We're here."
true. But if he had a lady friend and she doesn't necessarily want to be seen, she would have stopped moving when someone knocked on the door.
Evelyn, my instincts go the other way. There are balconies. I felt a cold breeze. There's a window open. Someone probably came in from the outside.
That's entirely possible too.
I've been saying this for 2 hours.
I'm going to go to the door and I'm going to pick that lock.
Chris,
Yep.
is any of my room, is that adjacent to this one?
No, there's a room between, or two rooms between one of the rooms you rented and his.
But it's on the same wall.
While they go to pick that lock, I'm gonna go to my room and go to the windows slash balcony, depending on how it is, and look toward the room where he's supposed to be.
Smart.
Okay, perfect.
If it's easy enough, I could consider climbing at the outside of the building to get there. If it's just one room away.
Chris, if we look at the picture, it looks like it's just one giant balcony across multiple rooms, right?
It's basically like the front of the building. It is the back. There's a fire escape or fire escapes, but yeah, it's like one large. I mean, there are dividers between the different rooms, but it is yeah. So
I
it's
can make my way by now.
yeah, it's one large balcony, but it's divided where the rooms are divided. All right. Alvin can give me a locksmithing roll, and Dr. Carter, you can give me a spot hidden roll.
Ooh,
Nice.
that was the closest roll.
Are either of you announcing what you're doing, what your plan is? That
Well,
one of
yeah,
you is going from each side.
I said I gave my idea and I said I'm gonna go open that door, and I
Okay.
walked over to go open the door. I did not hear what the doctor was doing, although personally I think it's genius.
Oh, that does not look like a genius roll at all.
And he falls out the balcony.
Oh no. At
Your
least
back is
quickly before
broken.
it goes
Thank you for playing.
That was a spot hidden roll. It was not a climbing roll, please. Okay.
It's like only his eyes fall out of his head.
Yeah,
It's the first time he's been up this high. It's terrifying.
All right.
I know my sound is not going through very well, but yeah, I said I'm gonna go check in my room if I can see the balcony before leaving. Did you get that?
Yep.
Good. So I do not see things.
While this is going on, what are Volador and Salvatore doing?
I never went back down the hall. I was pressed up against beside the door, so you couldn't see me through the peephole. And it was on the side of the door where it would open. You're not immediately going to see me when you look out.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's where I stay
Okay.
in case I need to jump somebody.
Okay. Perfect. And Salvatore.
I'm following Volador's lead, and I'm just going to be on the other side of the door because, frankly, I think this is just, from a character point of view, this is jumping the gun on something for no good reason, and I have no desire to possibly break laws and this at this point just because some people are anxious.
We are foreign nationals.
That is true. Both of you are foreign nationals. So you guys are basically one on each side of the door.
Yep. We're the muscle.
Perfect. All right. So. Oh. That's what I'm looking for. Oh.
If only I knew what Jimmy was up to.
All right. So a couple things happen simultaneously. Alvin, you get the door open, and at the same time, Dr. Carter, you're kind of peeking out, seeing if you can get eyes on, and you do see a couple of things. You do see somebody down at the bottom of the fire escape making their way down an alley, and somebody else following them. The person following them notices you and throws a knife at you. Thankfully, you do have a significant amount of protection from the window. As we look up how cover works.
Shenanigans, I knew it.
the knife get stuck in the surrounding of the window?
It might get stuck in you.
Figure out what kind of knife it is if you bring it to us in your flesh.
All right.
And that's why I was asking if it was just going back down.
Yep. So basically, this knife comes it breaks through the glass. It was thrown with a fair amount of force, but the window absorbs most of the damage. You only take 1 point of damage.
That's not something I can dodge. Especially after I had a terrible roll.
That's just that you fumbled the spot hidden. So
yeah, I deserve it.
Yeah, basically he had a bonus die because you didn't see him, but he had a penalty die because you have some cover, so it balances it. Okay. And then he rolled a 22. But
so broken glass or something.
Yeah, some broken glass catches you on the cheek, sort of thing.
Real nice.
You guys hear a shattering of glass coming from room 406, which would be on the same side as room 410. And as the door kind of swings open, you see the body of Jackson Elias.
Oh, fuck.
You son of a...
His intestines ripped out. But you can hear him gurgling. So you know this has happened very recently. But both Luther and Alvin can give me sanity rolls.
Oh, why not?
Because of gurgling?
Because finding a dead body of somebody you know.
Nope.
Yes.
That's not too bad. Ignore where it says Jimmy, but that's going to be 3 points of sanity loss there, Luther.
Got it.
Which thankfully is still under your daily threshold. So you let out this little probably fairly loud expletive.
Oh, for sure.
But both of you also see somebody else on their way out the window to the fire escape. So basically, one guy down in the alley, one guy on the fire escape, one guy entering onto the fire escape.
Nice.
Sounds like initiative.
So just to confirm, 3 guys, one out at the window, one down the fire escape, one out down the alley.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I've kind of spaced things out on the map a little bit, so you get a
Sure.
kind of a rough idea.
Chris, at what point in time do you call for initiative?
Right about now.
Okay.
Dr. Carter is up first. Because remember, it just goes in dexterity order. There's no rolling.
I walk for cover when the window is closed. I'm going to try to grab the knife and look out the window, try to get as much detail about those people fleeing that I can.
Okay. Perfect. So as you look out, you can give me a spot hidden roll. I'm going to give you some information regardless, but. And again, the main reason to ask for rolls is I'll give you more information if you succeed, but if I never ask for die rolls, you're never going to improve in skills.
Yeah, more dice is better in this one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You can see
Or just me?
So the guys on the fire escape, they're moderately well dressed. Definitely dressed for the weather, so it makes getting any details very difficult. But you do kind of catch they've got these sashes around their foreheads. almost like they're wearing their scarf too high, sort of thing. Is your first thought? You're like, what the hell? But then you realize that it's a sash, and it has a like a strip of red material kind of hanging from the side of it. So there's like the sash itself, and then an extra piece of red material hanging from the side of it.
Ninjas.
And do I stop the third one on the fire exit?
Yeah. As you look up, you can see a third one making his way onto the fire escape. Oh, Jimmy. Well, Jimmy has nobody around, so Jimmy escaped.
Everybody escaped. Oh, there we're back again.
For some reason, I had everybody selected.
So okay.
Been there.
Jimmy escapes. Volador, you're up.
All right. I'm going to. Can I grab the guy in the? We don't have speed, do we? There's no speed stat.
No, basically, you can move a reasonable amount and do a thing. It's a hotel.
Well, I mean, I want to. If I can I catch up with any of these guys that are buggering off?
You can definitely catch the guy that's making his way to the window. The guy that's basically, he's got like one leg over the windowsill, the other on the fire escape.
Okay.
You can definitely catch him. If
And
you
Chris shared the chase rules, right? You as well?
Yeah. This is not a chase yet. Depending on what happens, it could turn into one. The guy that's partway down the fire escape, you can get to him if you make a climb roll.
Okay. Climb sucks. My dex is really good, so I don't think I'll go after him. But I would like to grab the guy that's trying to get out the window and toss him back into the room with a throw.
Perfect. All right. So just mouse over the guy that you want. The guy that's at the window is Iregi. Click T to target him. And then on your combat tab, you should have like a brawl attack, an unarmed attack. There you go.
Suplex.
All right.
DDT.
All right. Well, he will try to fight back.
Well, he's got 2 stars, right?
Yep. Basically, the way it works is a regular success beats a fail. A hard success, which is 2 stars, beats a regular success, and an extreme beats a hard. So if this guy gets an extreme success, then he will inflict damage back.
You're a professional wrestler. There's no way.
I used to throw people for a living.
Right. Can't wait till a boxer gets involved.
Oh, that is such a miss. So you grab him, you basically haul him back in, and
Awesome for the boxer.
manhandle him back towards the door. That will take us to Calm. Calm is making his way down the fire escape very quickly.
There was no damage done there?
No, if you're doing a maneuver, I mean, like if you're like, I throw him into the wall or I throw him in front of a train.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But if your stated goal is to grab him and throw him back into the room, then you succeed.
Okay. Why was it a brawl roll instead of a throw roll? Because my throw are actually 5 points better. Just question.
Yeah, throw is for like knives, boomerangs.
Oh,
grenades.
okay. I get you.
Yep. He makes his way down the fire escape. Alvin.
So I just want to confirm here what I'm seeing in front of me. There is a man who's been thrown back into the room.
Yep.
Am I, and I don't know if anyone said it, but am I aware that there are more people in the alley?
You probably heard the clamoring and like the rattling of the fire escape. Like it's not really firmly connected to the wall, so you probably heard that bouncing enough to indicate that there is a rapid movement on the fire escape.
Okay. Okay, fair. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to run to the fire escape because I think that there's a boxer behind me at the door, so this guy's not going through the boxer. There's a rustler who is in the room now with the guy who's thrown.
Yep.
So I feel like this guy is not going anywhere. I am taking my firearm. I'm running to the fire escape. I'm yelling freeze and aiming my gun down the fire escape. And if he does not stop, I will fire a shot.
Okay. So
I know that these people are murderers, in my opinion. So I feel justified
Right.
in my 1920s logic.
Gotcha. So it will take your action to aim, but then you'll get the bonus for that on the next round.
Sure.
And having a readied firearm does bump you up on the initiative order.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So all I need to know is if he stops moving, and the rest of my actions happen next turn if he does or does not move, right?
Correct.
Okay.
What did I do? I think I accidentally made a comment. Salvatore is up.
Oh, this guy's in trouble.
It's clobbering time.
Nice.
All right. So I'm going to act under the idea that Volador has this other guy under control for now. So I want to go and look out the window, assess to see if there's anyone else we can grab, and if so, I'm going to use my newfound Tarzan-like lifestyle to try to pursue and catch.
Okay.
Swinging off in balconies to. Oh, that's awesome.
All right.
Dr. Steel Hammer.
All right. So yeah, you make your way, and much like Alvin, you see a guy. Basically, he's gotten to the bottom of the fire escape, so he's 3 stories down.
Somebody do a Tarzan roar.
Do not jump 3 stories.
So
I'm not going to jump, but I got climb, so maybe I'll try climbing.
you can certainly try climbing.
My climb's not great, but my jump is better, but jump could hurt me worse. So I'm going to try climbing.
Okay.
This could be the very first parkour that's ever happened.
Oh, look at that!
Nice.
All right. So yeah, so Salvador, you see this guy, and he's just gotten to the bottom of the fire escape. So you kind of make your way out, and the fire escape does shift under your size and weight. It's not really firmly touched to the building at all. But you kind of like scramble down as best you can, and then there's always that like the sliding ladder thing you always see in movies with the fire escape. So you kind of like grab the ladder and like just kind of ride it down to the bottom instead of letting it go down and then climbing down. Getting you are like right behind him. You can't attack him this round because you've used your action, but you have pretty much caught right up with him.
That works.
1920s parkour.
Yeah. Luther.
Luther's going to run to Elias and try to treat his wound. Obviously, it's not going to work, but he's going to try.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah, you try, but he is like when you get there, he's no longer even gasping for breath. He's definitely gone.
He's gone?
He's gone.
Fuck.
But you do notice there seems to be as you're kind of like, you realize he's gone, and like you're cradling your friend's head sort of thing. And you do notice around the blood there is a carving in his forehead.
Does it mean anything? Probably not. But
You can make a Cthulhu Mythos skill.
no.
No idea.
So he's dead, right? Like dead?
Dead.
Fuck.
There you go. Just so you know, it looks like this.
That can't be good.
So, like, you can tell it is definitely carved. It is not, like, it's not like an accidental wound.
Okay. Do I have any more actions or?
Yeah, you have an action because you haven't done anything that requires an actual action. But you can't really move anymore.
Okay, I'm gonna search his person.
Okay, perfect.
If he's dead, I can't do a listen to get his last word. So I'll
I
just
just want
search
to
his person.
I just want to understand the scene here. So he's cradling the body of his dead friend. The murderer is in the room with him, and there is a rustler nearby.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
about to beat the murderer to death.
Yeah.
Can you rustle someone to death?
I'm from Mexico, and I lived through the revolution. I can beat somebody to death.
Absolutely.
But that's a fair point, Jaime. I'm not gonna search him. I'm gonna pull my gun
Okay,
because I could shoot him to death.
perfect. All right.
Bullets punch hard.
They do.
Especially in this game.
I didn't say I had a gun on me, so I don't think it's fair for me to
Okay.
say I got a weapon with me.
Yeah. All right. Reggie. All right. He is scream at you, at Volador. You don't catch a lot. You catch something about, you will be swallowed alive by the earth that breeds, or the worm, or something. It's just like gibberish.
Any language?
English.
It's English? Okay.
But he is going to try to swing at you with his knife.
All right.
That is a miss. You can choose to fight back if you would like. Basically, fighting back. If you succeed, you'll do damage.
Yeah.
Or you could do a maneuver, which is any sort of close combat thing that is not inflicting damage.
Disarm him?
It's
Disarming him is definitely maneuver. So you should see on the little chat window something that says maneuver or maneuvering.
I do.
Yep, just click that button.
snap him like a fresh baguette.
I may use luck on this one. We'll see how the roll goes. Never mind, I don't have that much luck.
Okay. All right. So he swings at you with this knife, and it's a weird looking knife. You're probably gonna have to get a better look at it when he's not trying to like cut you open with it.
One of those wavy ones, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Evelyn.
Okay.
There's a commotion in the room.
Am I way over here?
I'm assuming, where were you when everything happened? Were you at the door? Were you with Dr. Carter?
I was standing in the hallway when Carter went into the room and Pratt went back down the hall to Elias's room.
Okay, perfect. So there's definitely a commotion coming from Elias's room, and you heard broken glass from Dr. Carter's room. You're kind of like in the middle of the two of them.
I will. Yeah, her curiosity's getting the better of her. She's going to go to Elias's room.
Okay.
As she's shuffling her way there, as fast as her little cane will tap, she'll call back over her shoulder, "Dr. Carter, are you all right?" And then go into Elias's room.
It's funny, some kind of strange man throws through me a knife. Down through the hallway.
Okay. That will bring us around to Elvin.
I need to know if the person who was at the bottom who was getting away before Salvatore parkoured over to them. when I said freeze, did they stop? Did they look like
Not
holy
even
shit? This guy's
remotely.
getting not even remotely. How close is Salvatore to this guy? If I shoot, is there a clean line of sight? Put it
There,
that way.
there is like if you roll a fumble, there's a chance you might hit him. So like a fumble is not a guaranteed. A fumble is a chance that you'll hit Salvatore.
And I have bonus dice, right? You said because
Um,
I was aiming.
you do have a bonus die. What's the range on your pistol?
I don't know. How do I find out what the range of my handgun is?
Let me see. So under combat, where you see range weapons,
Yes, I have a revolver.
yeah, if you click the little edit thing, the little thing looks like a pen and paper. It'll pull up the card for the item, and it should have the range on there.
Oh, I do have a gun on me and a knife on me.
Range.
So it's 15 yards. He's three.
I'm looking for it right now, and oh, it's at the top. But
Yeah. So yeah, he would still be within short range. So you do get a bonus die.
okay,
Uh,
great.
so just so we get in the use of it, basically, mouse over the guy you want to shoot, hit T to target him.
Okay, so it
Yep.
looks like he's targeted, and then I roll my.
And then click on the gun, not the handgun skill.
Oh, the gun itself.
Yep. Because that's where you can put in all your modifiers. So you can see there's one there for aiming.
Okay, single shot, and then I say aiming.
Yep.
I have an X on it. It says I can't.
Okay, maybe it's something I can set on my end, so I can give you the aiming bonus. And then
Base range.
he's at base range. There you go. And then just click roll firearms.
Bang.
Oh, a hard success. And then if you click the roll damage,
How do I know if oh, hard success even says it? Okay,
3 points of damage.
but it's piercing, isn't it? If I rolled hard.
If you no, an extreme gives you the impalement.
Okay, extreme that gives you the piercing. Okay.
Yeah, basically a critical hit gives you piercing. But the shot rings out and catches him. He kind of like slumps forward. I'm going to say as a result of being shot, he's not going to lose an action per se, but he's not going to be able to get any further away from Salvatore.
Yeah, he's not going at full speed, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, like there's that momentary.
Little strike.
He is all yours, my pugilist friend.
Right. Luther.
Luther's not happy. He's going to take aim at Igri,
Okay.
and he's going to shoot him.
Okay. Right. So target the guy with T.
Targeted. Then combat tab. Click the actual revolver.
Yep.
I thought I did that. Okay, he's targeted.
I don't know why it's not coming.
Why is that not rolling?
Oh, there you go. So this is point blank. So you do get you'll get a bonus die from that. And something for those of you with firearms. You see up at the top there, it says bullets fired 0 of 6, shots 0 of 3.
Yep.
That means you can fire up to 3 times in a round, but each shot has a penalty die. Because you can pull the trigger super fast.
I don't think I want to do that.
Okay, then just click your roll firearms.
On this screen or my skill?
On the chat, do you see where it says all your revolver information, your target?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll firearms.
No, there we go.
So regular success, so you can roll damage. Just when you do the targeting, it automates a bunch of things.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, 3 points of damage to him. All right. So everybody hears gunfire. Salvatore, you hear gunfire from up above. Volador, you hear gunfire from the room you're in. Evelyn, you hear gunfire from the room you're headed towards. And Dr. Carter, you hear gunfire from 2 doors down.
America.
Well,
Right.
this
The
is
mission
worse than I expected.
week they're having.
Okay. Dr. Carter.
I would like to attempt a quick climb down to try to pursue the one that is not being arrested right now.
Okay. You can give me a climb roll.
I will.
Ooh.
Wow. 3-star.
I mean, I'm actually not that bad at climbing because I figure walking around in ruins, but this is a really good roll.
Right, perfect. So yeah, so you come down. So you're kind of just behind Salvatore. Uh, Volador.
I'm gonna just tell Salvador when I get down, make sure he doesn't escape. And like I'm starting to run after the one that did escape.
Okay,
So even if I'm not moving right now, I just want that Salvador to know that what I'm doing. Like
perfect.
I get down, I tell him to stop this one, and I'm starting to die.
Gotcha. Right.
All right.
Volador.
I'm just gonna clock the guy.
Right.
Fighting brawl, no advantage, nothing like that. Just straight on.
Straight
Roll.
up roll. Yep. He will.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm not going to spend luck on this one. We got a gun on.
Oh, he just stabbed you.
Ouch.
Ooh, for 9 damage.
Ouch. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's a major wound. So that's a con check to remain conscious. Okay, you are
I
still
do.
conscious. You do fall prone, like, and this razor sharp knife basically cuts right across your torso, and you feel not just blood leap out, but you feel like um, something relatively solid on the outside that should be on the inside.
All right. My gut is a little bit bigger than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, like, oh shit. Calm cannot run away because he got shot. So he's going to turn to Salvador and try to knife him. Oh, but he is going to fumble.
You cannot knife Tarzan.
All right, so Salvatore, as you're like charging up on this guy, he like whips around with this razor sharp looking knife. But as he does so, he kind of slips on a patch of ice and goes down.
He's in a bad spot.
Beat him
And
to within an inch of his life.
Salvatore is up.
Ground and pound. Ground and pound.
All right, so the guy fell on the ice. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leap onto him like a gorilla, and I'm just going to pound him on the chest to assert dominance and like keep him down.
All right.
Okay.
Assert dominance.
Little M'Baku action going on.
Perfect. So target the guy. Just mouse over him. Hit T.
Sorry, what do I do?
Just mouse over the guy that you want to pound, and hit the T button.
That's Colin, right?
Yep.
All around him when you did it successfully.
Sorry, press the T button or the mouse button?
T.
Because I did, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to do anything.
He should be marked now. And then on your combat tab, hit unarmed or brawl attack. Okay, perfect. So we'll say normally your unarmed does a D3 plus your damage bonus. We'll say this is going to do. We'll say this is a D6. So you can roll a D6 for the damage.
43 is 2 stars.
He's got an 89 brawl.
Oh my goodness.
Perfect. So yeah, so you leap on him as he falls prone. Because he fumbled, I'll say also the knife is kind of out of his, like he's reaching for his knife, but it is currently out of his grasp. Hey Gary, let's see.
Is he still alive?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Well, Volador, he just gutted, so he's gonna turn his attention to. Actually, he is going to. He's going to try to make his way out the window. And he knows that Alvin is in the way, so he's going to try to take Alvin with him.
Uh-oh.
All right. So Alvin, this crazed cultist comes charging at you, trying to take you out the window. So you'll see on the little chat card, there's a bunch of options for you.
Yeah.
Dodging means you're just moving out of the way. Fighting back means you're going to try to punch him, and maneuvering means you're going to try to do some sort of combat maneuver on him, so something other than damage. Or you can choose no response and just let him hit you.
So there's supposed to be a brawl somewhere.
So you
Brawl. Okay.
Yeah. So you see the options are advantage, disadvantage, dodging, no response, fighting back, and maneuvering on the chat card. Yep.
I agree with that. I was just looking to see what my brawl score was versus my dodge score, and what would my natural reaction be.
Yep.
Just brawl is not in the alphabetical order; it's under fighting.
Yeah.
So I'll put dodge. Nope.
All right. So he's not doing damage because he was doing a maneuver. I just forgot to hit the wrong button. But he does take you out onto the fire escape.
Mm-hmm.
What's your size?
Size 70.
All right. So as he crashes into you, it kind of takes you through the window onto the fire escape. It pulls away from the building as the two of you crash into it.
It's like buckling, and oh god.
Yeah, there's like this creaking of metal and this snapping of screws as the fire escape pulls off from the building.
Who's at the bottom?
Alvin's a big boy.
Down at the bottom is currently Salvatore's not far away, Dr. Carter.
They're at the bottom of like if the entire fire escape collapses, who's it falling on is what I'm asking. Because I know there are people in that alleyway at the bottom.
It will fall on whoever has the lowest luck.
Oh, okay. Well, then great. At the bottom, right? It can't fall on, for example, Luther, who's inside.
Right.
Okay.
Evelyn. As you kind of peek around the corner, your curiosity, you see Volador is essentially holding in his intestines with one hand.
He's in the room that Luther and Elias were in?
Yeah.
Oh!
There's blood all over this room.
Apparently. I'm going to try to help him. She'll kind of give a high-pitched squeak.
Okay.
I have first aid and I have medicine. First aid is the better option.
Yep. First aid first, then medicine if necessary.
Okay, I'll try. I'll grab a sheet, pillowcase, towel, something. Oh, not with that roll.
Oh, no.
Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to kill you.
Oh,
I pictured myself walking around with the lucha mask and this great big fur coat, heavy fur coat, like Dusty
This
Rhodes.
white fur coat is just red.
Like,
It's a red coat now.
it's just
Oh no.
soaking in blood.
all right. And that's a fumble on top of that.
Oh yeah.
All right. So yes, Evelyn. Yeah. As far as you know, Luther's probably going to die, or not. Sorry, not Luther. Volador is probably going to die. He maybe if you can like find a needle and thread and get him sutured up, but first aid is not going to cut it. And with this realization, give me a sanity roll.
Okay.
Normally, there's no sanity loss for this sort of thing, but a fumble is a fumble.
My dice are back, apparently. Yeah, no success for me.
So you lose 1 point of sanity.
All right. Okay.
All right. Alvin, you're up here with a cultist. The fire escape is swaying dangerously.
Okay, he's on top of me?
He basically careened into you and took both of you out onto the fire escape. He's not necessarily on top of you because that was not his stated goal.
Okay. Alvin right now. I mean, I still have my gun in my hand. This guy just jumped me, and I can see inside that he's pretty much he has stabbed and possibly killed another person, right?
Correct.
I am going to take the opportunity to unload on this guy because if he stops moving, maybe I can recover. But if I do anything else, he might stab me just as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I am going to try. So I still have him targeted. It's got the little thing. I'm going to click on my revolver.
Okay.
How many shots can I do? I can do multi-shots. Okay, now I can do multi-shots.
So you can fire up to 3. Each of them will have a penalty die, but you also get a bonus die for the point blank range, so it's an even roll.
So do I need to roll? Do I roll them one after the other? Because I only have one shoot firearms button.
Yeah, one after the other.
Okay, so if I roll this, shoot one bullet.
Oh.
Oh, God.
And a second one.
Well, roll the damage for that one first, because that's 16 points of damage.
Oh, Jesus. Headshot.
Yeah.
It doesn't give me an option to roll a second attack. I know I think I killed him, but it doesn't give me an option to roll a second attack, just FYI.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's because he's dead.
Okay. Narratively, I do shoot him 2 or 3 times, whether he's dead or not, because afterwards, if they do an autopsy, I did shoot him multiple times. I was fearing for my life.
Okay, perfect. All right. So as this fire escape is swaying under your weight, and you see like he's like grabbing that knife, and he's got like this manic look in his eyes, and he's brandishing. Then you realize that that's probably Volador's blood on that knife, and you kind of when you snap out of it, he's dead, and you're probably still kind of pulling the trigger.
Click, 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 click.
Just because currently we're not worried about tracking ammo.
I like the narrative feel to that.
Okay. Luther. Multiple gunshots from outside. Volador bleeding profusely. Evelyn going like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Luther's been in this spot before, right? So Warzone is for him a little bit easier than the rest of them. Now he's done it from a cockpit, not from the ground, but he's going to rush to Volador and see if he can put him back together.
Okay. You can give me a first aid roll.
Because the sound from outside, that guy didn't make it. First aid skills. I'm not a huge fan of the fonts that they use here. I find it very hard to see.
It's not the fonts; it's the size.
It's a size, and it's like it's a light background, and the dark isn't super dark. But same thing on the target cards. Like when you're looking at stuff, it's some of it's not
I
really.
can't read the white stuff.
Is there something you do in settings? I'll poke around.
Yeah. No, it can be changed with like CSS knowledge, but that is way beyond me. All right. So you get over to Volador. You manage to kind of staunch the bleeding to some extent.
Put the stuff back in when it's supposed to be.
Put the stuff back in where it's supposed to be. Yeah. But yeah, he's definitely gonna need some actual medical attention.
Start barking orders to any of his character. Give me a blanket. Give me this. Give me that. Mrs. Collins.
Okay. All right. Dr. Carter. You get there just in time to see a car pulling away.
Did I see the guy who threw me the knife get in?
Sorry?
Did I see the guy who threw me the knife get in?
Judging at the speed at which that car is pulling out on the like slick wintry roads, you're guessing that person is trying to get away in a hurry. Logically, it would be the guy that managed to escape.
I tried to make out the look and make of the car and hail any taxi I can see.
Give me a luck roll.
Luther, take a look at the general chat. I found where to change the font size.
I'm doing it now.
Oh, cool.
It's a big difference.
All right, you do manage to hail down a cab.
Follow that star.
All right. He's like, okay. Volador.
Volador changes the font size. I guess give myself first aid is not going to help because I already got that 1 point back.
Yep.
Thanks to Luther. I will take this opportunity to say, don't let anybody take my mask off and pass out.
Okay. Calm. Calm is going to attack Salvatore since Salvatore is on top of him. No longer has a knife, though. Oof. It's a solid punch, though. So Salvatore, in the chat, you can choose whether you would like to maneuver to kind of pin him, whether you want to fight back to inflict damage.
I actually want to inflict damage. I want to try to knock this guy out.
All right. So the one there that says fighting back, that's the one that you want.
Sorry, where am I seeing this?
In the chat card, over on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I see it.
Yep. So a regular success, you would need to spend 28 luck or you can just take the D3 damage from his punch.
I think I'll just take the punch.
So he like clocks you on the side of the head. It hurts. You're up.
I will give as good as I get, hopefully. If not better, I will punch him back and try to knock him out.
Okay.
In Tarzan style.
Sorry, do I click my brawl skill or do I click unarmed in melee weapons in the combat tab?
Unarmed, and then over there in the chat card now, you'll see something that says Fighting Brawl. Just click that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. He will fight back. Oof. Perfect. So you can roll your damage there.
God, you
Do I
hit
just
so
click
hard.
that white thing that says roll damage?
Yep.
Okay. It said lacks permission.
Really? I can roll it for you. Perfect. So you punch him. He's looking woozy, but he's still up and about.
So just so you know, before I did that roll myself, that bar, it said D8 plus D3. It didn't just say D3, so I don't know if that's the reason it wouldn't take the roll.
Maybe. Evelyn.
Oh dear. Evelyn is going.
Medicine roll?
I've got a 4 in medicine.
4 times better than me.
Don't worry about it.
Want me to kill you.
I have an 11.
And just so you know, medicine takes at least an hour.
You're so screwed. Carter, though, left the door to the hotel room open, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to try to rush down. No, wait. Is there a phone in this room?
There is.
I'm going to rush to the phone.
Okay.
And I don't know, and Evelyn wouldn't either, if they have 911 in this city, so she's going to call the front desk.
Okay.
And insist that she needs a doctor sent up right now.
And a coroner.
Well, she's not going to mention that. She'll let the doctor handle that part.
Okay. All right. So they're like, okay, yes, we heard gunshots. Are you okay? The police are on their way.
We need a doctor.
Yes. Just stay safe there, ma'am. So they will make arrangements for a doctor. The police have already been called.
I will let Mr. Pratt know that the police are on their way.
We're probably going to have to get out of here.
He needs a physician. He needs a doctor. We cannot take him anywhere.
We're still probably going to have to get out of here.
You and I, yes. He needs to stay and be seen.
Alvin.
Guys, help!
Creek.
I am going to not move. I feel like, or I'm going to get up very, very, very carefully. As soon as it creaks in any direction, I freeze.
Okay.
Cheers.
Yep. It's swaying a bit, but it seems like without two of you moving around and without that like sudden impact of two bodies hitting it at the same time, it's not stable, but it's not in danger of imminent collapse.
Okay, so I'm gonna slow. If I am going very slowly, I'm going to reach the windowsill and firmly grab it. It's like that. If
Okay,
it gives way underneath me, at least I'll be dangling by my arms as opposed to careening to my death.
gotcha. All right. So yeah, you kind of very carefully make your way over to the window, kind of grab on. You can pull yourself into the room if you like.
I will do so.
Okay, perfect. Luther.
Right. So we can't fix him any more than we could fix him now, right?
Not without like at least an hour.
Alvin, come on, pick him up. Let's go. We're taking him to the other room. Yes, we're going. Don't just listen. Just do what I tell you. Soldier, pick him up. We're going to the other room.
I am expected to pick up the 275-pound wrestler. Is that what
Well,
you're
the two of
asking me
us.
to do?
Yeah.
He's about 250.
He is now.
We got to move him before the
Now
police
he's
get
about
here.
235 from blood loss.
Right.
Okay, I know nothing about any kind of like
Yeah.
first aid or anything like that. So I look over to the to Evelyn. I'm like, okay. And is he conscious or unconscious?
He's unconscious.
Yeah.
You guys probably wake me up and I could help walk there, right?
So Pratt will give a, like a soldier speech of he's been in combat. I know what's going on. Just pick him up, soldier. Just do what you're commanded to do. Let's go. Let's move. Let's go.
Okay, Chris. I know he's big, and I'm a little bit smart. Is there any like rug or something we can put him on, so like that we can drag him out safely, as opposed to jostling him with two people trying to hold him together?
Not. Yeah, there's probably like a carpet or something, but it's easy enough between you and Luther to move him.
Okay. I just was afraid of like jostling him and then like,
Yeah.
because he's cut down the belly, right? I end up
Yeah.
with the top, he ends up with the bottom. Just
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea being that we'll start medicine after we
In
get
the
out
other
of this room.
Yeah.
I still have
Yeah,
5
okay.
hit points
Okay.
left, and I'm not losing any right now, right? Technically, I could be awake if I wanted to be.
That's fine. We'll get him into the other room.
All right, Dr. Carter, make a roll for your driver. Oh.
Smash.
So yeah, so you hop in the taxi. You're like, follow that car, and the taxi driver looks at you. It's like says something in a language you think maybe Russian, definitely Slavic. You recognize that it's Slavic. You're like, go, 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 and he hits the gas, and then hits a patch of black ice, and the tires spin, and the vehicle goes this way and that way, and ends up backwards and slams into a pole.
It's the second 100 in this game.
It is. Car gets dinged up.
They are both related to me.
100, 197.
At a 2.
I got a 2.
But Dr. Carter, you do take 3 points of damage from being slammed around in the car because there are no seatbelts.
You're just scared of heights from the bell curve, that's all.
I got a 2 on the climb down, so that's good.
You're on either end
Seatbelts
of
are
the bell
for
curve,
losers.
close to the ground.
Yeah. All right, Volador is unconscious. Colm, he is trying to get the fuck away from this madman.
Tried to drive them, but we didn't get there.
All right, Mark, you can decide whether you would like to unarmed combat to do damage to him or maneuver to keep him pinned beneath you.
Sorry, and to do that, what do I click? I'm sorry.
If you want to keep him pinned, it would be fighting brawl, and if you want to inflict damage, you can roll your unarmed under attacks.
Sorry, 'cause I think the last time there was the option to click something right on the chat, so I just wasn't sure.
Yep. It's because I clicked fighting brawl instead of unarmed. It only triggers when you do it in the right way, and I screwed up that time.
Does he have
Okay,
maneuvers
so
too that are options?
So sorry, what are my options again here? If I want to keep him pinned down.
If you want to keep him pinned, then it's just a fighting brawl roll.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Does he also have maneuvers as options, or is that only as a reaction to someone else?
That's what he's doing. That like anything that is
Okay.
not doing damage is a maneuver.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
See, here's where it says Colm takes D3 plus D8. And that's when I clicked in, it gave me the error message.
That's a damage bonus, not D8. It's a DB. So.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it says D8. I'm sorry.
Oh, you get an extreme success. Perfect. So yeah, so as he's struggling to get free, you like just kind of like reach out and like kind of grab him and like just slam his head back, and it hits that pavement with this crunching sound, and he goes limp. He is still breathing. Still breathing, but definitely unconscious. And with that, we are out of initiative. You guys have one captured cultist, one dead cultist, one escaped cultist, and have moved into room 4. Do you want 406 or 401?
Whichever one is closer.
Okay, 406.
Every flavor of cultist.
Are you leaving the dead guy out on the fire escape?
For now.
Okay.
I'm not going on that rickety thing.
Okay.
But I do yell out the window, go around.
Okay.
I'll talk to Voldor and make him find that I'm going to go by the front of the building.
Okay. All right. Salvatore, what are you doing with your unconscious cultist?
Sorry. I want to try to secure him and see if there's a way I can bring him up that will attract the least amount of attention.
Oh, there's the fire escape, but it looks awfully rickety.
In that case, I will see if any. I will try to secure him in a spot that is away from any attention for now, down here, and see if I can get anybody's attention up in the window and point down towards the alleyway.
Okay, perfect.
Alvin was at the window.
There
he
you
was
go.
yelling, you go around.
Yep.
But
So yeah.
Alvin yells down, use the servant's entrance. And the cops are on their way.
Okay.
406.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So yeah. Assuming you do like a weekend at Bernie's sort of thing with your unconscious guy, you can get him to 406 easily through the servant's entrance. The servants don't pay any attention. Like the servants are a lot of like see no evil, hear no evil sort of thing. So it's safe to assume everybody reconvenes in room 406.
That's not necessarily true. I try to keep people out of Foresight unless they very much want to go. I let the people with the first aid skills kind of like give them the room that they need to help Volador, right? You don't want 12 people in that room while they're trying to sew them back together.
Gotcha.
I'm planning to go by the front of the building so I can speak with the front desk to have my version of the facts given before anyone knows, so
Nice.
that when the police arrive, they have my version first.
Okay. All right. So what do you tell the front desk? The front desk is like they're panicked. Like there's been gunshots, car crash out front. Police are on their way. Somebody called down from one of the upper rooms asking for medical.
So I get to the front desk and tell them that someone in the alleyway threw a fucking knife at me, and they were seeming to flee from one of the rooms. I think they are breaking in, and they fled with a car outside. I used the service stairs to try to get to him, but to no avail. I hope the police has been called. The window has been broken by that madman, and trying to frame that like.
Well, the police are on their way there, sir. Maybe just if you'd like to have a seat over there in the lobby.
I'm going to speak with the police officer as soon as he get here. And I called to my room. I want to know if the rest of the people with me are safe.
We'll send somebody to check on them.
I don't know if it's safe. Can we call to the room?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Not my best, but I'll come.
It's like, we'll have somebody check on your friends and make sure that they're safe. You just wait here. The police should be here in just a few minutes.
Make sure he's taking all the precaution. I don't know how much of those people were there.
Yes, sir. And the clerk goes back to kind of like orchestrating things, trying to figure out what's going on. Waiting anxiously for the police, that sort of thing.
I wanted to warn them that that's what I was doing, but I'm gonna try to speak with the police to get our version of the facts. And I don't know that somebody has been killed. I never had that information, so I'm gonna go with what I think and try to manage the police.
Okay. All right. So after probably 5-10 minutes.
Before you bring in the cops.
Yep.
I know Alvin knows that he has 5 minutes at the crime scene before the cops show up and bar us because we're civilians.
I was going to say the same thing.
So while the two people are handling the Volador, trying to sew him back up, I don't know if Luther is or not.
Luther is, yeah.
Okay, so you guys are with the body. I'm going into the room with our deceased friend, and I have a camera. I try to take pictures of everything. I try to glean as much information I can in 5 minutes, and then be out of there before the cops show up. Because if I'm in there when the cops show up, they are going to ask me for my photographs. They're going to ask me what was I doing in the room and all that stuff. But if I'm in the other room with our friend who's dying, it's more they might not necessarily think of me as a suspect yet, and more of as a victim.
Miss Collins, I have this. If you can help Alvin.
Absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm. She'll go into the other room.
Okay.
And I tell her, find his notebook. He writes books. He has notes somewhere. And I start taking pictures of everything.
Okay.
I'm waiting downstairs. I'm going to try to go somewhere I'm not ubiquitous and try to study the knife.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So, Alvin and Evelyn, you guys can give me spot hidden rolls. And photography roll as well there, Alvin.
I see nothing, but I will take pictures of it. Maybe I'll see something later.
I may need to use luck on this.
I take no pictures. My
Well,
Wow.
camera.
well, I mean, your camera's been through a lot lately.
God, people.
Good lord. I had the
How
best
often-
laid
Investigation
plans,
game.
right?
You guys are the investigators.
How often
Best.
does luck come back again?
During a development phase, which is usually at the end of a chapter, you get to make a roll to see how much luck comes back.
Oh God.
It doesn't, basically.
I think the
Or,
least
sorry.
amount that we
Uh,
least amount we can spend is 34 to get one of those 3 rolls a success.
Sorry, amendment. It's not during the development phase. It's at the end of every session.
Oh,
Oh, well.
luck refreshes at the end of every session.
There's a chance it goes up by a D10.
Okay, I just need to come back to what it is right now. I don't even care if it goes up.
No. But he's saying that it doesn't come back. You regain up to a D10 at the end of every session, right?
So it's 1d10 per session. Wow.
Of recovery.
That's expensive.
Yeah, because that would cost me 42.
It's 34 for me.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have that much luck.
And it is
I
just
can't.
Just as a reminder, just so in previous editions of Call of Cthulhu, it's like, oh, you failed to roll. Okay, roll again.
I will push.
Doesn't work that way. You can push. You just have to describe what you're doing. Maybe you're taking longer than the 5 minutes, which, I mean, you guys will still be searching the room while the cops are there. But you do get to roll again.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about this? We were trying to be delicate. Now we toss the room.
Toss the room and leave. Like, you're not careful, so you've lost evidence implicating yourselves.
I'm willing to
Or-
stay
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, like there's a serious consequence to failing a pushed roll, but you get to roll again.
I'll stay behind. I'm not afraid of speaking to the cops. I have a story. I'll be fine.
I have a history with the cops, so please.
Okay, perfect.
We just need to pretend that you and I don't know one another.
Well, hold on. Hold on. If we push, I'm still doing the roll, but you're staying behind. Is that it?
Yep. Basically, failing a
Oh,
pushed
can
roll.
only one of us push?
You both can if you're both tossing the place, but if you both fail, then there's consequences for each of you.
So what I was saying is that I would also like to push, and that Evelyn is fine with still being in the room when the police arrive.
Okay. I'm going to push and I'm going to take my chances. Hopefully, I won't be in the room when the police arrive.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what we have to do. So I'll push my spot hidden roll.
Okay.
Are you for real?
Oh.
99, 93, 92.
All right. And Evelyn.
Howard. Yeah.
Oh, for the
Dice.
love of
Lord.
Jesus.
All right.
I should have just rolled the 2 little dice at the bottom of the screen. Maybe that's what I'll do
It
next
wouldn't have
time.
mattered.
Yeah.
The dice hate you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's true too. Fair.
All right.
Is that I just want to be clear here. That is 5 rolls, and those are 5 rolls above 90, right?
Yep.
If you were playing DC Heroes, you'd be in great, or Marvel, you'd be in great shape.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, we'd be kicking ass in Marvel.
Right?
I mean, I got 200.
Must have superpowers.
Okay.
Okay, Chris, describe the insanity that happens here.
So yeah, you guys are like, you're taking a look around. You don't see anything right away, and you're like, okay, shit. We only have so much time. So you just start like pulling open drawers, dumping them out, like going through everything, like rifling through like the dead cultists, even drag them back in the room just in case they were trying to get away with anything. Basically scouring the area, and you do find some things. You find a letter. You find a business card. You find a matchbook cover from a bar in Shanghai.
Shanghai?
Yep. You find a kind of blurry photograph.
Does travel a lot, or he did travel a lot.
Another business card with a name written on the back.
He likes blurry photography. That's all I said. That's all I take.
A typed letter from Harvard University.
I'm assuming you're
Yeah.
adding these as the discovered handouts.
They will be shortly, yes.
Okay.
And like a little like a playbill for a lecture from Professor Anthony Cowles, presently Locksley Fellowship of Polynesia Esoterica at Miskatonic University.
I've never heard of that university.
At least it's in New England.
Them words are fancy.
And you guys should see these pop up under Discovered Handouts, America Handouts.
I see them.
I just have to configure all the. There you guys should see handouts 1 to 6.
1 to 7.
Oh, 1 to 7, yes. But you guys are in the process of like, okay, shit, we got to get out of here, which is when the cops arrive. And the doctor.
Oh, thank God.
Doctor immediately goes in, starts working on Volador. He's a very brusque, like no nonsensey type. He doesn't even ask any questions. He's like, knife wound, okay. Sutures, and he starts doing what he can to patch up Volador.
Appreciate it. Don't let him take my mask.
Luther will play nurse during this process.
You can make a medicine roll.
Sure. Nope.
You could spend 24 luck to succeed.
Not that attached.
Right. Okay.
I wish I could be mad about it, but neither am I yet.
Right. I'll try.
Let's roll some more 90s, guys.
So they get Volador patched up as best they can. It doesn't get you any hit points back because I rolled a 98. So you have a major wound, but you're no longer unconscious. Much like in Peru, as your memory kind of flashes back to the last time you were badly wounded by claws.
Yeah, every time I talk, this Elias guy comes up, I get wounded.
Yeah. So until you have a chance to overcome your major wound, which will take at least a week, if your hit points drop to 0, you will be in danger of dying.
No problem.
And you don't heal naturally.
Lots of problems. There's tons of problems.
All right. Dr. Carter, you can give me an archaeology roll.
Yeah. All right, dude.
Chris-
Guess what I got in my hand?
Chris, do we get... Sorry, Chris. Do we get the handouts to the other players?
I'm going to assume that you guys are sharing information.
Okay. Well, I just don't know if we're about to be arrested and like this stuff stays in the room, or if we manage to get them out of the room into the hands of the other player. So even if we get arrested, they keep with the information.
No, you guys will still be in the room. But
Stuff it in all your pockets. It'll be fine.
Okay.
All right, the knife. One sec, while I do a PDF search. It is an East African bush knife. Kind of looks kind of like a machete, but with a curved tip. You recognize that it is called a panga.
Is it new in factor or is it an antique?
It's not an antique, but
Okay.
it's hand forged.
Okay.
Uh,
Still not 1,000 years old, but not like industry manufacturer.
right, not mass produced, but not old.
Okay.
And it is very specifically belongs to certain East African bush tribes.
We can make research on that a bit afterwards. I'll keep the knife hidden from the copy.
And the police. So as Evelyn and Alvin are kind of like, okay, you're like getting ready to head out the door, thinking that you made it under the wire. You kind of turn, and you see a gentleman wearing like a well worn suit, and a couple of uniformed officers with him as well. One second. Lieutenant Poole. He's just like, do you mind not taking the evidence with you, perhaps, and maybe answering some questions?
So he didn't get it shoved in his pockets before the cops got there?
Nope.
I'm all yours, Lieutenant Poole.
He kind of like looks around the room, and there's like the dead cultist that you guys dragged in to search, and Elias. And then there's like
So
a trail of blood that leads from this room to the room where Volador is.
Very
first
subtle.
thing, the second thing I tell Mr. Poole after I said absolutely, I say, I'm armed. My sidearm is here. Please take it off my body.
A couple of the uniformed officers do so.
And the other thing I said, to be clear, we were here to see our friend, and this man killed him and then stabbed the other man and was coming after me when I shot him. And then I submit to any interrogation that he wants to give me.
Both you and Evelyn make a credit rating roll.
Credit rating.
Oh my god! Credit rating.
Why am I making a credit rating roll?
You're a private cop.
No, it's not bribery. Credit rating also, there's a certain way you carry yourself, certain way you dress in accordance with your lifestyle.
Oh,
wow.
fantastic. I thought I was going to roll a 90. It was hovering on that 90 again.
So yeah, basically both of you look like respectable middle class individuals. Like you don't look like any shabbier than one would expect given the circumstances. That's kind of the impression that you make.
Given the blood all over them.
Oh, you can come in the front door. It's probably fine. We should treat you with some respect.
But Poole will look at Alvin and say, current or ex-cop?
I'm a PI right now. I still have my hands up, so like that no one shoots me is like my license in my wallet, left breast pocket.
And he looks over at Evelyn. It's like, is this your secretary, assistant,
Friend.
Gotcha.
We were part of a small expedition with the deceased, and we were getting together 4 years later for a gathering, and we got here to this.
Evelyn's hand clenches, but she doesn't say anything.
All right. He looks down at Elias's body. He looks over at the uniform. He's like, follow that blood trail.
Uh,
Two
I'm
uniformed
gonna-
officers will go down to the room where Volador is. And once they leave, he looks. It's like PI, right?
yes, Lieutenant.
And you knew Mr. Elias here. You get the feeling like Poole recognizes him.
Yeah, absolutely. We were part of his group in Peru. I don't know if you read that book of his.
I did. Yeah, I've read all his books.
He's a good guy.
Oh, I don't know. I never met him. He kind of like looks. He's like, okay, all right. So obviously, if you were responsible, you wouldn't have hung around. Either that, or you're real stupid, and you don't seem stupid.
No, and I did stop this one in self-defense, and that's why I waited for the cops to show up.
Understood. Right.
I think that they managed to capture one of the assailants. I don't know. A large Mexican friend of mine had was bringing him in. I don't know where he is right now. There were 3 perpetrators.
All right. Well, if you and your friend wait out in the hallway, I'm going to have some questions for you.
We'll be in 06.
Perfect.
Chris, that's where we are. 06.
You guys were in 410.
Right, but we're
yeah.
going to 06.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yep.
06 is the one with with Volador who's bloody, or is it 02 the clean room?
406 is where everybody else is.
Okay. We'll go to 06 first.
Not the clean room.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. So as as Luther and the doctor are working on Volador, two uniformed police officers come up. And the doctor's just like, not now. Wait out there. Don't touch anything.
Nice.
And the cops kind of look at one another. He's like, shoot, go away now. And then when they don't, then he's like, get out of my fucking hospital. And just sends them like out into the hallway to wait. Yeah, they feel like Luther, you can tell like this doctor, that's the sort of attitude that you get on the battlefield. Like, you do what I say now. But he will look at you and he's like, I've done what I can for him. He's not in danger of dying. Whoever got the first aid stopped it from getting worse. We can sew him up, but he's gonna need bed rest. So hopefully you don't have anything strenuous planned for the next little while.
Well, let's sew them up for now.
So they will sew Voladir back together, and then we will pick up next week with the cops questioning people.
Awesome.
All right.
But just before we go,
These are exciting sessions, I'll tell you.
perfect.
Alvin, you son of a bitch. I told you we needed to be in there.
I knew that.
If you open your character sheets, you should see the recover luck points.
Recover luck points.
Yep.
All right.
And then you can click that to see if your luck goes up.
Yeah, I got 4 points.
Oh, you're climbing back up there slowly but surely. I think it's because of like you spent what, like 18 or 19 at one
Yeah, I
point,
didn't want to
and-
miss any sniper shots.
Yeah, that's separate.
Dr. Lawrence have
Yeah.
89. Does it say that he has 89 luck or he has 57 luck?
He rolled 89 out of 57. You have to roll higher than your luck, and then and then
okay.
it increases by d10. So the higher your luck gets, the harder it is to get any back.
Okay.
Perfect.
Is
All right.
that how development roll works? Too?
No, it is not. It's not the end of a chapter. It is the bare start of the chapter.
I'm just wondering.
we haven't get past the first scene.
I'm just wondering if mechanically, when you do the development roll, you need to roll above your skill to gain some point.
You do. Or
Okay.
if your skill gets to a certain point, if you roll a 96 or higher, it will also go up.
Okay.
Alrighty. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
Perfect. We will see you next week as the investigation starts.
To be clear, we don't get XP at the end of every session. It's at the end of every story or chapter.
It's the end of every chapter. You'll get to make rolls for all the skills you've used in the chapter.
All our gold ones. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
No problem.
It was fun. Sorry for my tardiness.
No worries.
That's fine. Real life is the thing.
Yep.
Cheers, guys.
But have a good night, folks. We'll see people tomorrow for
Everybody.
Forbidden Lands.
Forbidden Land.
Yeah.
Night.
Cheers, everyone.